Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Orthodox Banter with Boyan. I'm the Boyan in question and I hope to answer a question here or there on Orthodox theology and practice from my own personal experience. I apologize for the lack of updates on this channel. The life has been crazy for the past couple of months. I visited one of my best friends in Dubai. I traveled with my family to New York, and all of this has caused cumulative delays in different areas of life, and I'm only starting to catch up. And the most important thing is that I'm focusing more on the main channel, Bible Illustrated, which will always be my pride and joy. And this is simply a side thing where I might get an idea for a video on the main channel later. So today's question is by The Lord is Risen. His or her question is, so why do royalty become saints? The implication being, why so many of the royalty are canonized. And there is a very simple answer to this question, and while being a saint has nothing to do with popularity, being canonized has to do with popularity, because in order to have a saint, you need, generally, there are exceptions to this, you need to have a local following or a cultus of faithful who want to have the saint canonized. There are some very few exceptions to this, but in general, canonization is a grassroots movement from the faith that starts with the faithful and goes up in the church hierarchy. So while we in the end do not know how many saints are there, some people are simply in positions where that is much more apparent. And that is why there are very few canonized lay saints who aren't martyrs, because their sainthood is pretty much restricted to very few people, whereas people who are more exposed, like bishops, monks, kings, queens, emperors, empresses, and so on, it is much more apparent. That's one of the reasons. So because the royals are so exposed to the witness of everybody around them, that is why they get canonized much more often than a typical person. The second reason is the power that they wield. Now, this does not mean that they become saints purely because of that power, but because, to whom a lot has been given, a lot will be asked of, and these people have used that power for good. This includes, but is not, of course, limited to, helping Christianity thrive, whether by, converting their nation to Christianity, or simply, facilitating Christian practice, whether building churches, monasteries, helping the clergy, and so on. Another reason is that, and it is similar to the previous one, the power, the royalty are basically on the front lines of getting martyred whenever there is a non-Orthodox or a non-Christian invader. And, that is the case with the Romanov martyrs, that's the Passion Bearers, that's the case with Prince Lazar of Serbia, the Great Martyr, and so on and so forth. The royals have basically, due to taxation, they have an unlimited potential for both good and evil. And when these people lead saintly lives, it is very difficult to actually, ignore it. Let me put it this way. Imagine a billionaire, and you know that this guy is very pious, and then you go to his home, and it turns out that he has an average bed, an average apartment. There is nothing in that apartment that would scream, opulence. It is a sort of a similar thing with the royals. it's very difficult to hide your saintliness at the court because they're so exposed to diplomats, to chaplains, to court officials. All of the court has their eyes on the royals. And I mean, let us be honest, royals tend to last a long time, and every person in their kingdom knows who they are. That's not even the case with the bishops. Like you know who your bishop is, you know who your patriarch is. You probably you maybe know a couple of other bishops, but generally you don't particularly care. However, you will know who your ruler is: your king, queen, emperor, empress, and so on. So that is the simple question: why do they get sort of canonized so often? I honestly believe that a good king or queen or whatever, who simply strives to do best for the church and the people, should, that's like, for me, in my personal opinion, straightway, ticket to heaven, like no doubts about it. So may we have the intercessions of our royal saints at our side. Amen.